All right, here we go. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. All right, day today. I was going for 10 miles today, seeing I did 8 yesterday. I wanted to see how many more long runs I could get in before it really comes time to taper off, and fell a little under a mile short, stopped at like 9.1 or something like that. And normally there'd been times in the past in which I'd be discouraged that I didn't get the goal, but seeing that we're 10 days away, man. 10 days away from the GFNY marathon, my first full marathon. It's time to start tapering off. It's time to start focusing on my recovery and things of that nature. So the second that I started feeling my legs tightening up and shoulders cramping and all that, I cut it. I mean, I really could have, gutted out that last mile, but I was like, look, 10 days from now, need to approach this thing, get to the starting line at 100%. All right, and just that in itself brings me to a couple thoughts, and I'll mold it into one Move Swiftly thought because they're kind of around the same time frame. All right, it was my last season playing football at Stony Brook University. We are at the time, well, currently they still are an FCS program. All right, they're not an FBS program. FBS are the major Division I programs that you see on TV, and the FCS are like the subdivision. It's still D1, but it's like a subdivision for the major programs, right? And that year, our first game was against a team named the University of South Florida. And actually, I wrote a full article about that game. It's titled "Who Really Won." You can check it out on medium.com. It's about how, again, we were the lesser opponent and we came in and we put up a fight, and the programs went in 2 different directions. Our program went in this direction, and USF's program went in that direction, all right? So it was going into that week, there were 2 things that Coach P said that got me through today's run, and that kind of brought me back to current, and things that I actually used this morning as I saw the results from today's run, as I have to live with the results of today's run. The first thing he did when he had started to address this game, like we're talking early in the off season, when we just started 2-a-days, he announced this time bull time, because the University of South Florida, their mascot is the bull. So he'd be like, this is bull time. And he knew we were outmatched. He knew that they were the better team. They had the more talent. They had the more attractive facilities. Them and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers share a stadium, right? So what he told us initially as a means of getting prepared for that game, he said, look, I need you guys to worry about being the better team that day. I need you to worry about being the better team that day, the better player that day, the better running back that day, the better quarterback that day, the better O-lineman, D-lineman, the better D-back that day. Just be better that day. And then he even used himself as an example. I'm going to try to be the better coach that day, all right? And seeing that, that day is 10 days from now for me in terms of my first of many full marathons. That thought kind of resonated with me and brought it back to where I could focus on being the best runner I can be on October 21st, 2023, not on October 11th, 10 days away, all right? That's the focus, and sometimes that's just what you got to do. Now, the next thought was when we actually started to get closer to the game, and there was a redshirt quarterback. I believe his name was Nick Moody. Nick Moody was redshirt. Well, the plan was to redshirt him. I think they actually did end up redshirting him. However, he still was the third string quarterback, and he still was the guy that, if need be, he would have had to come in against a very challenging time, against a very worthy opponent, and lead us, right? So they had him doing reps, they had him getting ready just in case. And I remember there was a throw he made that wasn't very great. You know, he missed a throw in practice or something like that. And again, Coach P yells out, "Come on, you could be in the game 10 days from now, all right?" All right, so there was that preparation, understanding that you got to get your guys ready because you never know what's going to happen. And that's what it's all about. That's what these next 10 days for me is going to be all about. It's making sure, stretching, making sure all the electronics, the headphones, the hydration, I'm staying on my band stretch, all that kind of stuff, and not overdoing it on the mileage, and making sure carbon up, loading up on the liquid IV, loading up on the coconut water, the whole nine. These are the things I'm going to be making sure I'm focusing on as the days get closer and closer to the big one, all right? Main website to check out to dive deeper into my work, makeyourmove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.